The morning sky was still waking up, painted in muted hues of gray and orange, when Dr. Arav Mehta set out for the hospital. He was a respected physician in the city, known for his steady hands, calm demeanor, and deep empathy, though few knew that beneath the polished smile he wore every day was a man quietly carrying the burden of a broken past. His wife had left him 2 years ago, walking away from their marriage and their son without explanation. Since then, he had buried himself in work, using duty as his only anchor. On this particular morning, something unusual caught his eye. A crowd had formed near the edge of a narrow street. Slowing his car, Arav spotted a small, lifeless figure on the ground, a young woman, bruised, blood pooling beneath her. Without hesitation, he parked, ran through the cluster of onlookers, and knelt beside her. "She's still breathing," he said quickly, checking her pulse. Without waiting for an ambulance, he scooped her into his arms and rushed her to the hospital himself. For the next few hours, he was not just a doctor, he was her protector. He stitched her wounds, ordered tests, and sat beside her bed until her eyes fluttered open late that evening. And when they did, he saw them, large, soft, and full of unspeakable sorrow. "Can you tell me your name?" he asked gently. She paused, her lips trembling. "My name is Mira," she whispered. "I have no one. My family, they threw me out when I refused to marry the man they chose. I didn't even have a place to sleep last night." Arav felt a strange pull in his chest. There was something in her pain that mirrored his own. The world had failed her, just as it had once failed him. In the following days, Mira remained in the hospital for observation. Arav found himself visiting her more often than he could justify. They spoke for hours. She told him about her childhood. About the dreams she once had, of love, of art, of building something beautiful with her life. But dreams were luxury items she could no longer afford. One evening, as the sun sank below the city skyline, Arav said something that even surprised himself. "I want to help you, Mira. I want to give you a home. A life of peace. I have a son, and, yes, I'm still married by law, but she's long gone. If you're willing, I'll marry you. In secret. You'll have your own home, your own space. I will take care of you. I promise." Mira looked at him, stunned. The offer was far from romantic. It wasn't the love story she had once imagined. And yet, something about it felt real. A man who had saved her life, offering her dignity and protection in a world that had stripped her of both. After a long silence, she nodded. "Yes," she said quietly. "I'll be your wife, even in the shadows." They married quietly, with no ceremony, no witnesses, no rings. Arav arranged a small apartment for her. Cozy, clean, filled with sunlight, and visited her often. He never missed a day. He brought her books, food, music, and eventually, laughter. And then, one miraculous day, Mira told him she was pregnant. I didn't think I could ever be a mother," she confessed, tears spilling from her eyes. "I never thought anyone would trust me enough, or that I'd be enough for someone else's child." Arav took her hand and said, "You already are. You are enough, and more." Their son was born with bright eyes and the calmest demeanor, just like his father. They named him Ishan. As Mira cradled him in her arms for the first time, something within her healed. In that moment, all the labels the world had forced upon her, rejected, worthless, unlovable, faded into nothing. She was a mother now. Fully. Fiercely. Years passed. Ishan grew up believing he had 2 homes, one where his father lived, and one where his mother smiled and told him bedtime stories. Arav managed his time between his son's 2 worlds, trying to keep the balance alive. He didn't want to disrupt his first family, for the sake of his older son, but neither could he abandon Mira and the child they shared. But fate has a way of forcing secrets into the light. One rainy afternoon, Arav returned home from the hospital to find someone waiting at his doorstep. It was her. His first wife. "I want to come back," she said simply, eyes swollen with regret. "I made the worst mistake of my life. I've missed our son, and I've missed you." He stood frozen. The past collided with the present in a single breath. "I'm not the same man," he replied softly. "And I'm not alone anymore." Confusion flashed across her face. "What do you mean?" "I have another family now," he said. "I married again, quietly. We have a son." Silence hung heavy in the air. Then she snapped, "Then give me my child. At least let me be with my own flesh and blood." His voice shook. "I can't. That child has known one mother. One who held him through fevers, who stayed up all night singing to him, who taught him how to walk, how to speak. You left. And in your absence, someone else became his everything." Her tears were real. But so was the pain Mira had endured. And Arav knew the weight of that could not be ignored. She turned away, slowly, quietly, a woman who had once left everything behind, now leaving again, not because she was forced to, but because she knew she no longer had a place in the story. That night, Arav sat with Mira, watching Ishan sleep. The boy had drawn a picture that day, a house, a tree, and a woman with a wide smile. "That's Mama," he had said proudly. "She makes the best rice ever." Mira touched the paper gently. "He thinks the world of me," she whispered. Arav looked at her, eyes full of something beyond love, something deeper, more sacred. "He doesn't just think it," he said. "You are his world." Mira had never planned to be a mother. She had never imagined she was worthy of that title. But through her quiet strength, her love, and her unwavering presence, she had become everything a mother should be, and more. And so, in a city that never paused, behind doors that stayed closed to the world, a woman who had once been discarded by her own blood built a life full of love. Not because someone handed it to her, but because someone saw her, truly saw her, and gave her a chance. And she took that chance, and turned it into something extraordinary. Final message. We often think family is something we're born into, but sometimes, the most powerful families are the ones we choose, the ones we build through love, sacrifice, and faith. Mira was never meant to be a mother, according to the world. But she became one anyway, not by blood, but by heart. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and always remember. Sometimes, the people the world throws away become the ones who teach us what true love really means.